Hello everybody, it's good to have you back. Welcome to my channel. This is Django 1911. We are going back to our roots, which is the karambit. The karambit is the one that started all this knife collection. I started from the folding karambit. Of all the knives that I have now, it started because I wanted a folding karambit. Why? At that time, 3 or 4 years ago, karambits were still not so known. And I wanted something that in emergency situations you can deploy from the pocket. It stays concealed in your pocket up till the very last second that you need it, and it deploys only at the time when you really need it. So there's an element of surprise. Number one, it should stay out of sight. You're just, when you're in shorts, when you're in pants and trousers, it would look like as if you are just it would appear as if you're carrying nothing, something of a knife or a bladed weapon. Because of the size, it would be something that's just not would not print much. Now the karambit, a feature of the karambit that is very important is this thumb hole. Now, thumb hole, or should I say a better term for it would be a finger hole, because when you say your thumb, see, I'm not using a thumb for that. I'm using the index finger. So how do you say it's a thumb hole? See, I'm even using my pinky finger here. So let's not call this a thumb hole. Instead, call it a finger hole, because your index and your pinky finger are usually the ones who are gonna be inserted into that. So because of that finger hole, when it is inside your pocket, folded like that, and it's oriented something like this. This is on this side, right side. This pocket clip is for right draw. Drawing motion would be going a bit forward in an angle, upward and forward. So because when that happens, this is just an immediate snag point for the V lining on the pocket itself. This would snag it. See this? That would automatically just, as you pull from the pocket, as long as you can just, for example, this one, I grab it here, as long as I can insert my finger there, and as I pull from the pocket, it's already deployed. And as I pull with just that finger hole here, I can wrap around immediately, and this will drive to wherever it needs to drive from the pocket just by gaining access to that hole. And I pulled one motion and it's already out. And even though you're already in the ground grappling, as long as you can reach the pocket that contains that hole and you have sufficient practice for wherever you pull this, it will just deploy, and automatically you will have that in your reverse talon. So that's the feature that I really wanted. The last second deployment, so that you can still work your diplomacy, your negotiation skills, turn down the heat, turn down the tension. If you do not need to fight, I mean, if there is no need to fight, then don't fight. You know, it's just smile and for the other day. Wait for another day. That depends. You know, there are some. It's the better judgment of an individual. If that threat is already a life, I mean, it's a threat to your life, to the life of your family and yourself. I mean, just by your family, that's already enough to. You need to drop some precautions and be more, you know, mindful of that. So just because of that feature, that wave, if you can notice, it's like a wave. That's how it's called. Mr. Ernie Emerson of Emerson Knives has a patent on that wave feature. And just because of that small wave there, you can now draw from the concealed position up till the last second that you need to maybe just slash something off the across to the chest, slanting, and then go. There's just the possibility is just, you know, endless. Once you've bloodied someone, surprisingly bloodied someone, it's gonna be something that would turn off the tension quick, unless you bought a knife in a gunfight. I mean, unless he has a gun, and that of course would depend if he has trained or he is capable of doing what he needs to do with a handgun. So lots of variables. But the thing with the karambit, that's why I started from this. I sought this. I mean, I did my research on what kind of knife do you need to be armed with, and it boiled down to the karambit with the Emerson wave feature. It's just how it went. You cannot go wrong with this. It's how the setup is. I mean, designed for the surprising attack, a very surprised. You know, you're gonna be surprised if somebody just, you did not even know who was carrying a knife, and then all of a sudden it's in his hand that he has that in the talon grip, and it's just so deadly. That surprise attack is the one that would probably get them, and the lethality of the karambit would do its job. Okay, so this karambit is based off the Emerson combat karambit. You know, if I'll try to insert the link here for the reviews of the Emerson karambit, which has the small finger hole, and another Emerson combat karambit that has a bigger hole, similar to this, but with a black blade. This one, big hole, but with a satin blade, and standout feature is the serrated tooth. Now, serrated tooth on a karambit is just really bad. I mean, bad for whoever's gonna get cut with a serrated edge tooth. A serrated edge tooth is there so that when you cut it, it's not even. When you cut things with a serrated tooth such as that, it's not a clean cut where it's just a line cut. If you're just putting it with, it's not like that. It's gonna be something that's jagged and doesn't have a good suturing pattern. I mean, it's harder for you to close the wound because it's just an irregular shape coming from that serrated edge cut. So for optimized maximum flesh wound damage, the serrated cut or the serrated edge is just heaps more effective than anything. That's why the Spyderco Civilian has that serrated edge, although it's a bit finer as compared to this one. This is a bit wider and bigger, the serrations. The Spyderco Civilian has smaller serrations, and that's not bad as well. I mean, the smaller ones is also finer gouges on the finer cuts with serrated tooth edge. The build quality on this karambits, they are really good. See that? It's not supposed to be centered because it's tapered to one side. It's not that it's not centered, it is centered, it's perfectly centered. But the blade grind, that one, see that it tapers to one side, it's like slanted to one side from this, the wings thinner there. That's what I mean, that's what I meant. See it, that's it. The mark is 1. That's one factory in China. I mean, one, that's probably a shop or already a custom knife shop in China. The One, see that? The One has that name. He makes, or that group, they make fine knives, and this is one of them. No movement at all on the blade. Very solid blade, very solidly built, this one. See, this is nicely done. Everything is, see, this one is solid. And the all important black clip, so that when it hangs, when this clip hangs out in your pocket, it's not reflecting like a chromed or silver one. That's proper. And with this black thing also, this will give it away, but not much, just only in the front view. But when it's just like that, it's flush in the V-line of your pocket, so you don't see it as much. And this is the most effective, in my opinion. We have varying opinions, and that's why we rule as a species, or we just bicker and bicker till things just get out of hand. But in that bickering, we grow, we stronger. Whatever that doesn't kill us would make us stronger. But that's it, that's our point. We need to bicker and bicker. Or I'm talking about how we, world economy, poverty, wars, and etc., aliens, whatever. So how heavy are you? Wow, 4.4 ounces, 0.28 pounds, 127 grams and 0.127 kilograms, 4.4 ounces light. It's very light. That's sample 1. This is sample 2. 4.4 ounces still. So uniform. 4.5. 4.5. Okay, fine. 4.5. They're both 4.5. Just finding some paper so I can test sharpness. So how sharp is this? It's the one karambit with a serrated edge. Wickedly sharp. I'm doing a fast action, see, and it's just cutting it fast also. So this is a sharp blade, sharp steel coming from the one. I mean the grind, you can see the grind. That's already a straight grind, and the serrated edges is just lean mean cutting machine. It's just good at what it's doing. Also pitching still again, but you've seen it. Cuts fast and it cuts smooth. This is sample one. This has been cutting really fast. See, sample 2. This one is sharper even. This is sharper. I mean, look at that. It's just flying. I'm just banging on the paper. And yeah, I think that was the sharpest that I have. You can really tell that the knife is sharp as I do that fast moving cut. And I got excited there. I mean, this is probably the sharpest that I have doing those cuts. And the proprietary are, it's important that you have this in the proper configuration. So the one that sharps better is the sample 2, and this one is for left hand draw. And the one that was cutting also good, but it was just sample 2 is just cuts way better. And this is the right hand draw, the first one that we were examining. That didn't work. Okay. Well, there you have it, folks. Post the final shot so that I can have a good thumbnail. And thank you for staying this long, and I hope you liked the video. As always, I would be seeing you guys the next time.